it'll rain out completely in a long neck, so he can just stretch after that. I'm so pleased with that he doesn't jog. I know most Arabs jog. He wants to jog, but I've trained it out of him because I think it's better for them to walk properly, to trot properly, rather than having this in-between joggy thing, because the jog, they aren't going any faster than a walk. Well, they're going maybe a bit faster than a walk, but they're not going as fast as a trot. And of course they're putting more steps in, so that's more jarring on the legs. This is my opinion. Other people might disagree, but this is my opinion. This is why I don't like it. Also, I've noticed that when they're jogging, the rider tends to sit on their back all the time. They don't rise, and the idea of the posting trot in the old days, when everybody went about on horses, particularly the cavalry, they wanted to release the horse's back by taking their weight off the back. And I think that's very good for horses. And sometimes on Apollo, I stand up in Apollo's stirrups in the trot, and sometimes with Farouk, because if we're doing a lot of it, I think it's even better just to be in the forward position where you're just putting your weight in your legs, you've got your bottom out of the seat, and it's like cantering in that position if you're a horse rider. Again, to help them, and as Farouk progresses up the levels to the top, where they maybe do 100 kilometres, which he is quite capable of doing, where horses do the 100 kilometres, I think it's more and more important that you look after their back and the legs for longevity. And with that, just to let you know that Farouk's had a 5-stage vetting, which he passed with flying colours. So we're starting off with no issues of soundness. And I'm sure those of you who've been with us for some years know that Farouk's completely sound. He's never had any periodic lameness or anything. And so we're starting off, I think, from a good place. Obviously, in time things can develop, but I don't think it's worth worrying about with an 8-year-old that has just passed a 5-stage vetting. But I think you have to do everything you can to make sure that they're comfortable, because he's going to be a proper athlete now. This is a competition. So he is going to be a professional endurance horse. That's his job now, isn't it, Farouk? You've got a job, yes, you're old enough to have a job now. With that aim, I've been looking into how I can help myself to understand what's going on in his workouts, because it's obviously much more important now because we're going to be doing it on a regular basis. So I think from what's on the market that I'm going to get 2 items. One is to measure their heart rate when we start off and when we come back. It's a handheld, like a stethoscope, but it's a bit more modern than that. It tells you don't have to count and look at your watch and all that. It actually just gives you a reading. See straight away what his heart rate is when he comes back, and also setting off will be interesting as well. Does he get really wound up? I'm hoping not, because he has done quite a lot of events. And I'm also thinking of getting him a heart monitor on a girth, so you can actually look at your watch and see what his heart rate is when you're riding, which I think will be great. These items are not cheap, so we're saving up for those. Right, so, yes, that's funny, isn't it? Some people there with white bags. Oh dear. I'm going to take a little variation on Cole's ride. I'm going to go up this steep hill, and just to make it a little bit longer for him. Hello! What? Oh, okay, I'm canter. Looks like a stink. Good boy. Good boy, Farouk. Keen as mustard. Good boy. And turret and walk. It does get stony here, so I don't want to go up there. Yeah, it's a good boy. That's giving him a little bit of a workout. I can just hear his heavier breathing, because that was steep. Yeah, he's a good boy. And straight past the Dalek. What a good boy. I think he's really coming to his own this last 6 months. I think he's a different horse now. He's steady. No, walk. No, walk. I had to really hold on to him then because he was off. I think he's grown a lot in his mind, not in his height, because I think he's still about 16 hands. I'm pretty sure he's 16 hands. I'm not going to measure him, but I'm pretty sure because of him being 8, he's already got to where he's going to go in height-wise. But mentally, he's not as spooky. You can ask him to do things such as that jump that he did the other day across that ditch when he'd just seen horses refusing. He just went straight on and did it, even though horses were refusing in front of him, which always upsets a horse if another horse is messing about. Steady. Yes, it's keen as mustard. But I think we'll just go at the walk. No, we'll just go walking. Good boy. Because we haven't been up here for a little while, and we don't know whether the ground is good for holes and that sort of thing. Steady. Yes, good boy. Walk. Yeah, he's definitely keen, which is lovely. I love it when a horse is keen to go, definitely. There's nothing worse in my book than kicking on a horse. I absolutely hate kicking a horse into walk, trot and canter, I just hate that. I just want my horse to go, and that's why I think I like forward-going horses. But even Wren's likes a forward-going horse, which was very difficult, because of course beginners shouldn't really have forward-going horses, because they're more reactive. But he's found Apollo to be just right for him, because he doesn't have to kick him on, and Apollo's willing but sensible. Yeah, he's so good as a beginner's horse. He's just so sensible for Wren's. Yes, he can be a little bit on his toes, even with the Wren's in a big wind. But Wren's is growing into him now. He's really coming along. So I don't think you can say fairer than that, really. Because Wren's is nearly 70 now. He'll be 70 this year. So and considering he learnt to ride. Well, I say learned. He started riding at 62 and then had the bad fall off Zeus, and then he wasn't going to ride anymore after that because it took him a year to recover from the back injury, really. But then he just fell in love with Apollo, and he just felt that he could ride Apollo, and said, "Can he ride to me?" And I said, "Well, yes." And he just got on so well with him. I just thought, well, he has to have Apollo. Apollo has to be his horse. And I had got Farouk coming along, and Farouk really was brought as a companion to Apollo. He was never going to be a horse that was going to ride a lot, and I've ended up riding Farouk a lot, so that's good. And now we've got Miss Bella, who's going to be much easier than Farouk, because of course Farouk did have that bad start, and you could say, well, Bella had a bad start. Well, yes, she did, and I think it's affected her striding a little bit, because her feet were so long. She compensated for that quite a lot. But of course, there was the advantage of her not being taught badly or wrongly, or making it more difficult for me was Diablo was an absolute pain. And he wasn't supposed to be like that. I mean, he was £5,000 and he was just nasty, really. He was a nasty, lazy horse and not at all as described. So one thing when you do buy from a breeder, as long as you don't sign any paperwork to the contrary, you can take the horse back and ask for your money back if it's not as described. So that's something to bear in mind. You can't do that with a private person, but with a breeder or a dealer, that is the law. So, well, in England, I don't know about America or New Zealand, Australia, I don't know about that. Good boy. Now he was very strong then, so I had to use a lot of rein and just squeezing one side of the rein, then the other side, because he wasn't responding as he should do. Because he's full of it, he wants to go, don't you? Eh? Which is lovely, but we do need to stop. That's why I started asking him to slow before we got anywhere near the corner. Because you don't want to be doing that speed round the corner. And yep, so I had to take the rein, and what it is you pull slightly with this rein and then slightly with that rein, and that just releases the bit when they're very strong. And remember, he's only got a snaffle in. If he had a stop it, if he had a pelham in, well, he'd stop on a 6 months, because they're very severe, but you don't need that. It's very rare he takes a hold like that. It's only because he's having a nice time, aren't you? And you don't want to stop, because he loves to run.
If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. We love reading the comments, we love emojis, and we'd love a thumbs up. If you would like to catch up on some of our older videos, just click on the Apollo icon, which will take you to our home page. We have over 1,700 videos to choose from, and you can sort by the most popular, the oldest, or the newest. Thanks for watching TTFN.